Hello and welcome back to Facebook Ads Mastery. I'm your instructor, Andrew Tapin, and now we're going to kind of build upon what we just learned in the Audience Insights lesson previously. Thanks for sticking with me through that one. Audience Insights is a very powerful tool, so there's a lot to cover. So good job on making it through that lesson. Now let's take a look at some things that are a little more on the advanced side, but nonetheless important for you to know even at a basic level. So when you get to the point of split testing ads and really defining your audience, you know where to look and what you're doing. So the first is I want to show you something with the interests. So I went through and actually added some more interests. You'll see I've got the monthly active audience up to 1 to 1.5 million. In doing that, the affinity went down from what I showed you in the previous lesson, but still highly engaged. But what I want to draw your attention to is this interest labeled biker or not com. If in your industry there's any website that you know is a very powerful website and one that a lot of people utilize, if it's something that you can target through Facebook, it's actually not going to be listed with a dot or listed as .com. So let me take that one out real quick and just show you what I mean. So bikerornot.com is an actual website, but if I type in bikerornot.com, nothing shows up. If I type bikerornot.com, it still does show up, but you're actually not going to label it with that period in there. It's going to be com. Another one that I know of, let's see. Alright, so let's try lightningcustoms.com, see if that's targetable. If I can actually spell Lightning Customs, you'll see right there, even before I finish typing the whole thing. That's how you spell that out. So anytime you're targeting a website, and wow, look at that. The affinity rating really jumped up. Leaving biker or not out of there. Obviously our audience is lower, but again, that's what we're looking for. So if you're targeting a website, type that in like so, and you'll get the interest that you're looking for. So that's one little tidbit that I wanted to point out. The next is down here underneath advanced, looking at behaviors. I definitely suggest taking some time clicking on each of these so you can see everything that you can use to drill down your audience. You're not going to want to use all of these because it might make your audience too small, but obviously you know your target market better than I do. So some of these may come into play. For instance, if you know your target audience as Spanish speaking, you're going to want to click that in. If you really only want to target people that speak English, you're going to use that to narrow it down. Also in behaviors, you have a plethora of behaviors to choose from. So again, it'd take too long to really go through each one of these, but I suggest taking some time, clicking on each one. That way you can know what is available to you to target. On a broader scope, you have your demographics that we looked at earlier. So you have high school, college, grad school that you can target. Different job titles. These you might have to start typing something in. So I just type in the letter A. Not every job title is going to pop up, but here's some that you can choose from. Your relationship status that we looked at before, married, in a relationship, that sort of thing. What type of home? Facebook gets this data from some third-party networks, so they know kind of some home values, different financial statuses. So if you know your target market makes over $100,000 a year, you can utilize that in your targeting. So definitely use that to your advantage. So whenever you're putting your ad together, you really know that the people that are seeing your ads are who you want to see them. Like we talked about before, Facebook's a very big network, so we want to use these tools to our advantage so we can create our ads and get a really good return on our investment. So what you're going to want to do after you determine who you want your ad to go towards, so let me add biker.com back into this to get my audience back up to a good size. And again, now by adding a couple more interests, I've got it a little more even between men and women. So for the sake of the training, I'm gonna leave it like that, because what we have found, for most things, women are more apt to purchase or take action. That's not to say that men don't. It's just from my experience on what I've utilized Facebook ads for, that has been the case. There are some instances where I will run an ad to both men or women, but that's probably an area where you want to take advantage of some split testing, running one ad to women, a separate ad to men, and see how they interact. But once we have all our interest in place, our audience size to where we like it, and our affinity rating good, then we want to go up here. If this is an audience you plan on running ads to or targeting more than once, I would definitely suggest saving it. It'll kind of save you some time of going through and redoing that. So we'll just name this motorcycle, click save, and there, anytime we want to create an ad, we can just use that saved audience. Or if we want to hop in Audience Insights and kind of pick up where we left off, we can click open. Here's a fishing one example I did previously just to kind of do some research. I can click fishing, click open. It has now replaced all the motorcycle targeting I had done with some fishing targeting. So I can pick up from there and start adding more interest into the field, change my ages, demographics, and so on and so forth, looking there and drill it down and create an ad from there. So there you have some more advanced techniques to take a look at. Again, I want you to take some time, click on each of these, and just see what's available to you. You're going to be amazed at how much information is available to you as a marketer to run your ads to. Facebook's provided this to you. They've gathered all this data and research on their users and made it available to you as a marketer. They want you to really, get a good target audience, but it's up to you to utilize these tools. Most people don't know about Audience Insights. We're going to get into why that boost post button on your Facebook page is the last thing you want to do. And hopefully by now you've kind of seen the power of Facebook ads and how you really need to use these tools and go step by step to create an effective ad. So next we're going to take a look at putting all these pieces of the puzzle together and start making ads. But first we're going to look at some tracking methods that you need to have in place before we create the ad, so you can then track your results and see where they're coming from once we get those ads going. So stay tuned for that in the next lesson, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.